women voters are going to be an important aspect of this election. And when you take a look at the new Siena and Marist polls, it would seem as though Tim Ryan has got quite a big advantage in terms of women voters. A lot of people say that divide is being driven by abortion. And we do know that you are in support of Lindsey Graham's 15-week ban on abortion. But where do you come down on the issue of exceptions to that, if, you know, in the case of rape, incest, or other particular exceptions?
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and it's become painfully obvious the MAGA crowd couldn't tell a slimy, good-for-nothing, two-timing politician if one fell out of the sky, landed on their noses, and started flopping around, because that's exactly what's been happening inside the now MAGA-overrun GOP.
Yeah, John, so I'm very pro-life and not ashamed of it. Of course, you have to have some reasonable exceptions here, but I just want to save as many lives as possible. I think that's the goal of a pro-life policy.
So what's reasonable?
Make it easier for young moms to afford health care. But I actually don't buy, John, that we're way behind with women voters. I think there's a really, really big groundswell of women voters who are really angry about inflation, really angry about crime, especially in our big cities in the state of Ohio. And I think because of that, we're going to do very, very well with women voters, with men voters, with everybody come election day.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me just drill down on that. You said reasonable exceptions. What exceptions are reasonable to you?
Well, look, I think it's always hard to say every single possible exception. My goal, like I said, John, is to save as many lives as possible, to try to protect as many unborn babies as possible.
With a few cute phrases, some mindless rah-rah, and of course dog whistles to hate groups, the MAGA legions have fallen to their knees in submissive worship before the feet of their politicians. And every MAGA politician is a painfully obvious con. They couldn't possibly be more the part of swamp creatures if they were dripping gelatinous green ooze. And gelatinous green ooze is what these con artists are banking on to comprise the minds of their voters, because their lies, hypocrisy, and bootlicking cowardice couldn't possibly be more obvious.
But look, I'm pro-life, and I'm not ashamed of it. And I think there are a lot of voters, male and female, who just feel like I do, that they want us to be a pro-family, a pro-child, a pro-baby state. And I think that's where we're headed.
All right, I'm going to move on, but one last chance for voters to hear what those exceptions might be.
But guys, I think that like I said, one obvious exception, of course, is you got to make sure that, you know, you have life of the mother protected. There are other exceptions as well. My view is we want to save as many lives as possible.
J.D. Vance is a prime example of this, the MAGA alpha male, as it were. He tucks tail in fearful humility and reverence to the putrid orange fascist. He knows his role in this criminal hierarchy and never dares to step out of bounds, shivering at the idea of accountability. Just look at Exhibit A, his latest appearance on Fox. It doesn't take much daring for a miserable insurrectionist to appear on Fox, a safe harbor for traitors and insurrectionists where crimes against America are paraded like a badge of honor. However, Vance, being a quintessential MAGA man child, even had to cower like a scalded dog to avoid simple questions from friendly fire. You see, Vance doesn't give a crap about life, but that's one of the cute little hollow sayings that win you over the votes in the anti-life neo-Nazi crowd. But because he's getting his backside handed to him in the polls over wanting to strip away a woman's right to choose, he has to toe the fine line of appeasing the rabid animal fascists and trying to steal away votes any way he can by alluding to some hollow concept of exceptions. Exceptions which he won't name because he can't name them. You see, the MAGA disease isn't built on actual legislation. It's not built on what these self-serving criminals actually vote for. It's not built on anything defined within rational thought at all. It's built on buzzwords to drum up hatred. How else can you get people to vote for you so that you in turn can take their vote away? Some serious wool has to be pulled over people's eyes, and the MAGA sheep are in desperate need of a maintenance shearing because their eyes have been blinded completely to a gang of anti-American criminals looking to heist our democracy and choice and our core freedoms away from us. We can hope that people see through Vance and finally get the message that this turncoat traitor can't be trusted, or we can take the much safer route of making sure this is Rovember, to remember and demolish the MAGA hard-right fascist turn in its step before it's too late by making sure everybody who voted in 2020 votes again and brings a friend. I don't want to wake up on November the 9th to find out choice has been deleted, freedom relegated to the memory and American democracy a thing of the past. I served 24 years in our armed forces to expand freedom, not to see it deleted by opportunistic billionaire con men and a base of extremist hate and fearmongers. And that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.